Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Justin White. This is
Wendy
the
White.
beautiful Wendy White. This is our first podcast of many to come. We have a lot of goals, a lot of things we want to talk about. So this is going to be just us kind of freelancing and just telling you guys what the goal is, what this channel is going to be,
What our goals are.
kind of things from there. Little background on me. Went to UTI in Houston, graduated, wanted to work on cars, signed to work for GM. Did really well there as a diagnostic technician. Worked on a lot of Corvettes and diesels, which was great and crappy at the same time. Decided I really wanted to do performance, so opened a shop in Covington, Mandeville. I don't know, it's the same place to
I don't know
me.
where your first one was.
They're the same place.
Yeah.
Covington, Mandeville, same thing.
It's all the same.
Anyways, opened a shop there for mostly alternator starters, batteries, where you actually make money, and decided I didn't like money, so we started doing performance work. Went to go tune some cars, hired a tuner to tune cars for me. The first 3 blew up, and I was like, well, could have did that myself.
Fair.
So talking with a bunch of friends, trying to find somebody to tune cars, I learned about this guy, Zippy, out of Las Vegas. So we flew to Vegas, did a class with him, and he remote tuned for me for about the first year until I started kind of getting the hang of it and getting comfortable, because he has a different approach to learning tuning than most other people. From there, kind of just learned and went. Kind of went stale until this one decided to come into my life and really kind of pushed me into going a little harder and trying to be the best that we could be.
Everybody needs a good woman to do that.
Yeah, that's a rare thing to find.
You were a little wild before that, so.
Right. So a little bit about Wendy's background.
I didn't do anything racing until I met you.
Yeah.
Not really. I liked cars. I didn't have any fast cars. I chased Justin down, made him come visit me.
I stalked her.
Yeah, okay. I messaged you, though. So you were just stalking me, waiting for me to message you, I guess.
Pretty much.
I messaged you. We hit it off immediately.
3 weeks later?
Yeah, in 2 weeks, I moved in with you in Texas. I left Mississippi, moved straight there, and we've been together ever since.
Then we went to Europe.
We did. We immediately went to Europe. That's really how he got me. He was like, hey, I'm going to go to Europe in a few weeks, but I don't want to go by myself. Do you want to go with me? And I'm like, of course I want to go.
So just so you know, if you're batting out of your league, take them to Europe. Got to lock that in quick.
That's true. We had a lot of fun, though. And then after that, I moved in with him. Immediately, he got me a C5.
Yep.
I never raced a C5. I mean, not like actually at the track. I didn't race anything until my first V1. I'm a Cadillac girl. My first V2.
V2.
Yeah,
right.
I had a V1 before.
So you had the C5, which did go 1090s 9 years ago, heads cam. Just, it was a fast car. And the next car.
C6, the red one.
Red C6. I think
it was faster. We did take it to the track. I didn't drive it at the track, though. You did.
Right. Yeah, I think it went 940s, 950s with a stock LS2 with a V3 blower on it, V3 Ti.
It was fun. I had a lot of fun driving that one
She
around.
tried to kill me in it a couple times. Remember that wall?
But did you die?
I didn't, but it was close.
I'm a great driver. I haven't, who's been closer to the wall than me?
So after that, I've realized she kind of got this handled. So we decided, let's get a V2. And we were blessed by a good friend of ours, John McCalmont, who took a chance on us and give us our first V2 to kind of work with.
Well, that's also when we started having kids. The Corvette wasn't going to cut it for me anymore.
True.
And that was, like I said, I'm a Cadillac girl. That's what we moved to.
Yep.
And we also got a Trailblazer SS at the same time.
And that V2 stayed supercharged.
Yeah, that was the first one I ever raced. The first time I went to the track, I ran a 1060.
It's that one, right there.
Oh yeah, it is, with the pink wheels.
Yep. So went from that car to
the one I have now.
It getting we got in a bad wreck after we traveled across the country racing everybody.
I guess that answers the who got closer to the wall question, because that was me.
Well, there's no wall, so that's good.
Right. But I did wreck it.
But unfortunately, we had a wreck. Luckily, nobody was injured. We kind of, recovered from that and picked up another V2 Shell, which is her current V2.
Yep.
And in the matter of 10 months,
Oh yeah, 10 months we were running 850s.
Within 10 months, it was running 850s at 165 with turbos before we had done anything turbo. So that was kind of a quick learning lesson.
Oh yeah.
And what did we learn from there?
A
Go
lot.
smaller turbos. Don't start with the big turbos.
We were learning.
It's a nightmare.
We were learning. Now we got it.
But luckily, we also got the chance to work with Circle D
Right.
heavily and perfect the 6L90 platform. So once we did her car, making about 1,400 wheel at 4,600 pounds running 850s, that transmission lasted 30-something thousand miles. And once pulled, had 0 burnt clutches in it. The other 9 transmissions on the way there were a lot of lesson learning through trans brakes, things like that we all tested.
Right.
So we feel like we finally got it perfected. No trans brake just didn't work out for us.
Was it actually 9? It wasn't that many, was it?
No, but that many times I had to go through it and
know.
fix clutches from
Well, I
the
know, but I want to
issues.
clarify because people are like, "Oh my God, you blew it up so many times," and we really
No,
did
we
not.
actually only, without the trans brake debacle, we only burnt 2 sets of clutches, and they were testing clutches that we were trying of different materials to see what lasted the longest. While working hand in hand with Circle D, as well as Circle D converters, who always took care of us on the converter.
Oh yeah, they're great.
So to prove that it wasn't a fluke, as the great locksmith says, we decided to build a second one, which was mine, which was a coupe, which is
Other side,
there,
the blue car.
which as you can see went 840s, letting out at 1,000 foot in Maryland, which we drove 24 hours to get worse DA than we had where we were.
Right, which I had the 6L90 record at the time, and then he went and took it from me.
Yeah, almost a year later, because I thought, you know what, we should just change things up and go non-lockup converter and do everything that wasn't the same thing she did. Lesson learned, just once you do something right, just perfect it again. Just do
Right.
it again.
Would have saved a lot of time and money.
Yeah, so it worked out really well, I think, though. The car still went 840. I don't remember the mile an hour. What was it? Yeah, 133 to the eighth, 153 nose down to the quarter, 840.
Oh yeah, because you let out.
Yeah, I only made it 1,000 feet, and the injector failed.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I remember.
But
But then we never raced it again after that.
yes, we did. I put it back together, fixed everything,
Did?
and went to Texas 2K.
Oh, we never did do that, did we?
Yeah, I decided I would try the intake manifold out for somebody because, you know, I'm always trying to help others.
We like to test things, so
And it exploded and went through my engine because the engine, you know, just sucked it back in.
almost through your hood.
Yeah, well, most of the way through the hood.
Right.
Um,
Crack the windshield.
yes, broke the windshield. It was not a good situation. So in redoing of that car, you know, we were really kind of getting into the Gen 5 platform, really starting to see the advantages and the benefits that the tuning of the Gen 5 platform really had.
100%.
So we decided that, you know, I wanted to get a test car, but I didn't want to go out and have a loan on a car that we were going to take apart.
And I'm never going to sell my car, so there's no other option than to get rid of his car.
Right. So we bought a Stingray C7, came with a blower, the motor, just stock motor. So we were going to go ahead and pull it out anyways. Did some rods and pistons. Basically the rest is history. The car drives 1,000 miles, runs mid-8s all weekend, does mid-3s, 60 to 130. It does everything we want it to do. And in that testing, we have found insane amounts of information, and I believe it's really helped the platform advance.
Definitely. It's definitely helped.
So that's pretty much what my goal is. I spent a lot of years being toxic in the community. I spent a lot of years seeing kind of how things go and really kind of realized that, I don't know if I'm just getting old or what, but that the more you work together, the better everything turns out.
Right. You can always learn something from someone else. Doesn't matter who they are.
Even if you think they're not smart.
Right. They
Sometimes
might know something you don't know.
So I think that's like a lesson a lot of people really need to learn is kind of be a little more humble, you know, work with people. I think I'm very good at what I do, but am I the best? I'll never say that. Anybody that says that, I feel for them.
That's a lot to live up to, too, to think that you're the best.
Right.
And then it's just too much.
But if you have 5 or 6 of the bests and you all work together, it ultimately only helps the customer.
Right.
Right? And we've seen that through the years many times. You know, we've worked with people. I've helped other tuners set records, and I don't need notoriety for it. I need that when I make a phone call to them, they help me like I help them. And for the most part, that happens.
Definitely. Made a lot of really good connections and a lot of good help between everybody.
Yep.
Helping us, helping other people.
Which, you know, kind of really brings us into the Go Hard podcast.
Right.
The Go Hard podcast is run by Noel. Noel reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to do a podcast with him, and I was pretty excited, despite being in the hospital for a few months previous.
He was literally dying. I don't think I've ever seen you that sick.
I'd gotten really sick, but I was so excited for the podcast that right out of the emergency room, or whatever you would call it.
Yeah, it was an emergency room.
2 days later, I was like, you know what? I think I'm okay. I wasn't okay. If you go watch the podcast with Noel, I'm surprised he didn't cut it short because I thought I was dying.
Yeah.
So we kind of did that. I really liked it. I was real nervous.
There was good feedback, but there was bad feedback.
Yeah, I was super nervous, super shaky. There was some chloroseptic down behind the tires because I couldn't barely breathe.
Oh, yeah.
So I reached out to Noel and I was like, man, you know, I feel like that painted me in a bad light. I'd really like to do, you know, another podcast with you. I said, maybe I could co-host. And then he was like, well, I'd like to try to get on some of these bigger shops. So working together with these shops over time, I was like, hey, this might be a good idea. I'll come co-host. Let me see if I can link you with some of these bigger names in the industry, and let's do this together, right? So he's got a background in airplanes and engines, turbines, things like that. He's very elite at what he does. I'm very elite in my mind of what I do, and I figured together, you know, let's do this. So we did the Lethal podcast, which I think turned out pretty good.
I thought it was really good.
I tried to get Danny to talk shit. Danny didn't want to talk shit. He did text me after and say he wished he'd talk more shit.
Right.
So
it's always nerve-wracking on your first one, for sure.
Yes.
So I think, you know, working up to it, you get nervous. It's a little hard.
It's funny because when you're like, man, I'll do this podcast. I don't care. I'll talk shit. I'll do this. And I hear this from a lot of people. And as soon as that little red light comes on, things change quick.
Oh, yeah.
Which is okay, because sometimes, you know, maybe we need to be PG a little bit better. Because if you know us in real life and you know a lot of these other people in real life, you know, we say some wrong things. But, you know, it's all in fun.
Let you know I'm still going to talk shit.
Yeah. Which
I'll do it to you when I see you too. So
yeah, that's the difference. You know, we may talk shit, but like we will also pit next to you at the track.
I've done it.
And talk that same shit.
A lot of times. Justin will sleep on the way to the track. We'll pull up. We're next to somebody I know was talking shit.
And then by the end of the weekend, we're typically friends.
Besties.
So yeah, a lot of people think a lot of bad things about a lot of people, but until you actually go out and you meet these people, form your own opinion, right? A lot of people that I was told were terrible people, and they weren't. You know, they've turned out to be very helpful. A lot of people just think that you can't work together, and that's just not true.
Right.
So anyways, back to Noel. Hopefully we'll be doing a podcast with him to kind of tell his story. I did get to go visit the Spirit terminal, and I will say I'm not much more comfortable about flying.
You were in the front of the plane and everything, so you got to see all of it.
That's true. He did let me play in the airplane. He didn't let me touch any buttons. I do know where the Wi-Fi switch is, though. If anybody wants to know, DM me. I'll tell you where it's at. In case they tell you the Wi-Fi doesn't work.
I didn't even know Spirit had Wi-Fi.
Careful.
I didn't. Which I don't fly.
Spirit's been actually.
I don't fly that often and like get on the Wi-Fi.
Other than the fees, Spirit's had some of the best pilots, sadly. Because
I'm
I
not
fly
knocking.
like twice a week, 2-3 times a month easily.
Oh, more than that for sure.
Yeah. So.
But every time I fly, it's almost always Spirit because I'm cheap.
Yeah. So.
What do you mean, yeah?
We're cheap.
Yeah, fair.
That's what it is. Anyways. So.
We'll do a podcast with him.
We did the podcast with him. We're going to do the podcast with him, I believe, tomorrow night, if he doesn't check it out. Because he finally hit his mark of 100,000 subscribers,
oh, yeah,
which is
great.
huge. I can tell you he puts in an insane amount of work. Our podcast will absolutely not be on the level of his, unfortunately. Technically, it will. The talk will be good. We will get in depth, a little more depth than usual.
Right.
basically the whole point of this podcast is going to be the technical talk, having people talk about things that just honestly is not on the internet yet.
Right.
Things that we've been R&Ding with people that, I don't typically just share, but as in talking with a lot of these companies, they're down for it. They want to talk about it. They want to talk about some of the R&D they've done, and this is going to be the platform for that. Right. So once we do the thing with Noel, you'll get his background. From there, I did a couple other podcasts with Titan, Calvo, Brian Tooley. And in that, I really learned that I kind of like this, mostly because I'll get the call back of, hey man, a lot of customers must have watched the podcast and we've gotten a lot of phone calls. And to me, I'm like, that's amazing.
Right.
I can see the good that it does and the light that it brings to these guys that have been doing this 20, 30 years and never get to tell their story. Nobody ever gets to tell their story where they came from. I mean, and a lot of these people, I didn't know where they came from.
No.
Like, I didn't know that Matt from Dedicated used to work with Tony Paulo from T1. I thought that was super cool. I didn't know he did GTRs. I didn't know that Calvo did a lot of the fabrication for Boost Logic. Right. Just many, many things. And then the information that Brian Tooley dropped, I was like, bro, are you sure you don't want to edit that? You sure you want to release that to the public already? And he was totally for it. So the fact that these companies are so open and willing to tell everything, I mean, it's a blessing in disguise, really. And honestly, we all have Noel to thank for it and the connections that I've been grateful enough to make over time to thank for it. I think that there's going to be a lot of information on these podcasts, and we'll definitely have to put it on like Spotify and things like that. So
I've got Spotify set up. So we're going to try to put it out everywhere that we can so that you get the most information. Yeah,
because technically, profitable wise, I think these need to be like 26 minutes to like an hour and a half. But like, I'm not one to cut the information short, as you could probably tell if you watch the Go Hard podcast, right, where they'll go on 4.5 hours. But after watching the retention rate, it's very high. So it shows that these guys do want to know this information.
Right.
And I'll chat for 4 hours. I don't care.
Oh yeah, you love that.
My biggest goal is to not let this affect my tuning, because after having 4 shops, it's not for me, which it may sound bad, controversial, take it how you want. Some people shouldn't run shops, and I'm one. I have too many things going at one time to make sure that things can be done on time, properly, and efficiently. So the shop life's not for me, but the tuning life I'm down for. Most of my learning comes from trackside. Yeah. Being able to test things, being able to spend hours and hours on a dyno, which I couldn't do running a shop efficiently.
No.
So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be traveling the country, traveling the world. We'll be tuning cars, and we want to bring you guys with us.
Right.
So some of the events, we may do like a separate side channel or side category of us at like track events, things like that. Maybe interviewing a couple of the crazy people from Drag and Drive stuff. And
yeah, we plan on doing, racers, some, social media influencers, some of them. We're, very picky on those. A lot of big shops that y'all want to see that we, know people there that we're friends with. Anybody we can really get any kind of knowledge from is our goal to get on our podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. We just want to bring you guys to see the stuff that we see, because you can see a lot of stuff on the internet. There's a lot of things on Facebook and stuff like that, but I would say that's roughly 15% of what's really out there.
Oh yeah.
A big thing to that is we moved to Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
We've been coming here for 5 years.
Yep. 5 years.
We've been #1 for GM tuning on the island for 5 years.
Right.
But that's because the people here, as we've just come to learn, they're family. Everybody
Absolutely.
works together. You go to the drag strip and one guy's cooking. He doesn't matter if he knows you. Come on and eat. Here's some steak.
They will help you with everything.
Anything.
Everything is working together, and that's just something that really drew us here.
Even if you're within 1 mile an hour of them, they'll still help you. Even if you beat them, they do care.
Yeah, they do care.
They are a competitive people, which I love. But they're not competitive to where they'll be shady or manipulative or anything like that, which is something that I unfortunately don't see in the States anymore.
Oh no, it's always something. Always something.
Burning
you down at the tree or
But I think
weird stipulations.
I think you can get back to that. I think if people see that working together really works, that this might help. This might get people to work together. This might get shops to work together, because when you work together, you win together.
Right.
We're
tired of seeing so much divide. We're here to try to help bring everybody together.
Yep.
That's one of our ultimate goals, is to bring everybody in the car community together, learn together, work together, race together.
I think networking is everything. We worked here for about 5 years. We've gotten many records here. We've really gotten to know the people. They've become family, and I'm blessed enough that we can work from anywhere, and I can travel from anywhere. And being the hub of the Caribbean, it's very easy to fly in and out of here. And man, we love it.
Oh yeah.
We love it. It's literal paradise. But the crazy thing is, a lot of people think it's some third world country, which is hilarious if you go to the mall and you look at the multi-million dollars worth of supercars parked outside.
Oh yeah, outside, all over the place. Inside, they sell Porsches inside.
Yeah, or you go to these half-mile events and there's $1 billion worth of cars.
Oh my God, yeah. Ferraris, Lamborghinis, stuff I've never seen before that I didn't even know would be here. Like, there's just all kinds of stuff.
Revueltos racing in the rain. I mean, it's just wild. If you've never been a part of it,
definitely take a vacation, come visit us, go to the track with us, come see how it is. There's events every few months at least.
Shoot us a message. We'll invite you, we'll bring you, we'll show you. But I think what we're gonna do with the podcast, we're gonna actually do one of the guys, Tony, which funny enough is TP1. So he's the Tony of the island.
Yeah.
He has a crazy history. I'm not gonna speak it here yet because I want him to tell his story, because as usual, a lot of people don't know his story, but all the big names in the industry do know who he is. So it'd be cool to let you guys know who he is. But so basically we were at his shop tuning some cars and just kind of talking back and forth. And again, remember, we've been coming here for 5 years. Tony was like, hey, why don't you guys should just move here. And I'm pretty sure he was joking, but I don't think he realized that
you don't take a joke.
I don't take a joke very well. So I was like, man, I think that's a good idea. And his words to me were, if you move here and you want to learn this Lamborghini, Porsche, Audi, the stuff that he's messing with, he's like, man, I have no problem teaching you. Go to the States and go to a shop and talk to them. Meet them the first time. That's the first day I met him.
Yep.
And tell me how many shops will do that for you. How many shops, knowing that you're another tuner, will say, hey, if you want to move here and you want to learn this, I'll teach you. You don't find that. And that kind of hit me. And I told Wendy, I said, hey, if you're down, I'm down. Let's do this.
And I had been talking about moving here when we retire anyway. So
yep.
I was immediately
retired is never going to happen. But I get
I'm
it.
retired, so.
We might as well act like we're retired, right?
I'm retired.
Are you?
Yeah.
No, you work more than I do. But anyways, so that was something that really got me. So we're gonna take this. We're gonna tell his story. We're gonna show off when we go to his place. We're gonna do a little shop tour and show you guys the stuff
his
there.
Shop is so cool.
It's
huge.
insane.
It's really cool. One of my favorite places to go.
And his story is 3 times as insane. But it's just kind of to show you what I think is out there that you guys may not have seen or may not have access to, that we're going to give you access to. These people have agreed to it. I'm also working with a guy, Ed Armbruster. I don't know if that's how you say his last name. I'm not even going to try to correct that. Ed owns Vet Lab, and he has the 5 O'Clock Garage podcast that's going to be coming out. I got to go to SEMA with him and hang out with those guys. And other than, they're pretty wild, they're really good people. They've got a lot of connections with a lot of people. We got to meet a lot of people, talk to a lot of people, and I kind of just wanted to reach out and see, do people want this? Do you want this? Do you want to see what these shops are doing? Do you want us to fly to Australia and go interview shops there, or go to New Zealand, or,
We're going to regardless, because I plan to.
Right.
But if you want to see it, we'll bring you with us.
Or, hey, you got somebody that's doing some crazy stuff in your hometown, and you want them out there? Let's do it. I don't want any money from it. I don't want anything from that. I just want to tell people a story and, let people get the notoriety that they deserve. If they're bad people, please don't refer them.
I'll know
because we will research it, and I have pretty good intuition. We don't plan to promote people that don't do right by people, but if you got somebody that's doing right and, they're good people, let's do it. But we'll also be working with Ed and the 5 O'Clock Garage guys, and I think Black Pine Media, is going to help us with some of the editing. And I'm going to try to get Ed every now and then. We're going to try to release a video every 2 weeks. And then the first 1-2 weeks will be just me and whoever we're dealing with.
Right.
And the next one should be me and Ed, because he has a vast knowledge as well of the industry. He works hand in hand with Stellantis and some of the other big three. So having two of us on there, we just really vibe. We did some podcasting with Brian Tooley and Ashley Vaughn and Chris. Oh, why am I blanking on his name? The African American Automotive Association.
Right.
Chris, I'm sorry, I forgot your last name. I know I remembered, it's in my phone. But he's doing some crazy cool things with Foxteca, and we really want to bring that to everybody. So Ed is going to assist me with it. Black Pine Media is helping us with the editing. We want to bring this big. So at SEMA, another cool thing we did, we met with Monoxide, the Monoxide podcast. I had been following them for a while because I like the technical stuff and some of the stuff they do. And I kind of pitched the thing to Harris. I was like, man, why don't podcasters interview podcasters? And maybe we don't all have a tech background, but they got here somehow. How did they get into the automotive space? What do they, what brought them to want to do this? Because I can assure you, this is not some big money-making venture. Maybe one day it'll make some money, and that's cool, and it may pay for itself, but you have to want to do this, and you have to want to help people. So why can't podcasters, right, interview podcasters? And he thought it was a good idea.
Right.
Again, I notice a lot of diversity in the podcasting scene where a lot of people, they kind of, oh, well, he's doing like this and I want to do like this. How about we work together on that too?
Well, I mean, they get to meet all kinds of people too. You never know.
Right. And if I've got this many connections and he's got this many connections, now we have this many connections.
Right.
And I think that's a good thing for everybody. And everybody at SEMA was very open to the idea of us doing this and offered anything we want to talk about. They're willing to talk about it. They really kind of went out of their way to show me that this is the right thing to do, and I'm hoping that you guys will back that up as well. And I hope that we do what y'all are looking for.
Yeah, there's been a lot of good feedback of people thinking it was a good idea, and we've got a lot of help, and that's what really pushed us to do this or to want to do this.
Yeah.
So it's going to take up a lot of our time, but we're hoping that it's worth it.
But we won't let it affect tuning.
It will not affect tuning.
As basically we'll do this, we'll probably do a couple recordings within, say, a week, and then that can be working while I'm out working tuning. My main goal is to not affect tuning, make sure that I keep as efficient on that as possible, but this will also open me to coming to more areas to do more hands-on tuning as well, which is always fun for me because we like to meet people and hang out. And
Travel tuning is really our jam for sure.
It's just something we've been doing for so long. 8 years?
Yeah, I mean, ever since we got together, we immediately started traveling. So.
Yeah, we've been to 48 states. 47. We haven't been to Montana and Idaho. No, we've been to Idaho.
We went to Idaho.
Montana and Alaska.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's only Alaska. I didn't even know we didn't go to Montana.
So there's 50. There's 50 states, right? If there's 50 states, we've been to 48.
Do that. He knows there's 50 states.
So we've been to 48. We will be going to Montana, mostly because I want to go see Yellowstone.
I don't know if I want to go to Alaska now that you sent me that TikTok though.
Yeah.
They're a little crazy there.
Another video. I do want to do the drag and drive in Alaska.
I want to do that too.
So I don't know what kind of tires I need. If you guys know what kind of tires I need, holler at your boy.
Yeah.
Because I'm down for that. I would do it.
Oh yeah, that would be so cool.
I'd drive there. I don't know if I can make it through Canada, but I'll try it. Hopefully I don't hit a moose. That's a thing there.
Yeah, that's up north. We've been
Anyways.
there. We've been there.
So basically, I kind of want to go over my background, Wendy's background, what we've been doing, what we're looking to do. We will still be doing the Go Hard podcast with Noel as much as he would like us to do it. This is all, honestly, because of him.
Oh yeah, Justin wouldn't have got this idea if it wouldn't have been for going on with him.
Right,
and then
realizing
doing
that
so
it was
together.
helping people.
Right.
Yeah, once I realized it was helping people, and Noel said the same thing. He's like, man, I'm so grateful that we're actually helping people. That I was like, man, I'd like to do my own, but I'd like your blessing. I don't want you to think that I'm copying you, and I'm not, and I wouldn't.
Right.
Would you help me? And he went out of his way to help me. So he's a really good guy. I'm very grateful for that. So for that, I will continue to help him as much as he needs.
Yeah. We're not looking to compete with anybody. We really just want to put out as much info as we can.
Yeah. And if you want us to come help on your podcast, or you want to interview, or you want to interview with us, hit me up. Let me know. You know, you have somebody you want us to talk to. You know, as long as it makes sense, we'll do it. Typically,
Right.
we have tunes pretty much anywhere. Yeah, we're always looking for more. But mostly we just want to kind of hang out, tell your story, tell somebody's story, you know, kind of get the information out there, and let's change this industry back to positive. You know, there's just too much negative in it, and I don't think it's helping anybody. Maybe that's the Puerto Rico in me talking now
The
that we've
old
been
age
here
in
so
you
long,
talking.
and I'm getting old.
Right.
That too. But yeah, that's pretty much what I was.
Yeah, that's where we stand on that.
Yep. We do. We will be bringing our kids along for the adventure as well.
We have a lot of kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have 4 total.
Told you, lock it in early.
3 of them live with us full time right now. So, I mean, 2 always do because they just do. But so we have 3 right now. Our
Yeah.
oldest, he really likes videoing, so we're going to try to throw some of his videos in there. Our daughter, most of you know her. If you know us, she's a shining star. So
Fast
she
Fallon.
will definitely be making some appearances, I'm sure. And then our youngest, Furio, he is always attached to me, so I'm sure you'll see him or hear him in the background. I'm going to do my best with that, but
Yeah. So we want to keep it professional, but at the same time, we are family people.
we are.
Family over everything. So, you know, family tuning podcast.
Yep.
So that's pretty much what our goal is. But really, we just need ideas. We're going to go meet with Tony tomorrow or later today.
Yeah, we meet with him today.
And we will send that off to Black Pine Media and get them to edit it up for us. It may be, you know, no crazy fancy intros or any of that yet, but
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
You work with us. We're going to work with y'all. We're going to try to make this.
we're going to
really
grow
well.
together. We'll make it work together. We just don't want to. We don't want to spend a lot of time focusing on making, you know, catchy little things. We want to spend the time on the information. We want to spend the time getting it out there. And I realize that sometimes these things go on for 3-4 hours. So, you know, throw some headphones on. You don't need to see my face anyways.
Yeah, but we're also going to
Hers you might want to see. Mine you don't. I get it.
Maybe. Depends on the day.
But we want to really kind of keep it information, keep it talking. A lot of people do specific Q&A, things like that. I don't like that. I like to vibe with people. I'll meet with them an hour before the podcast and let's just talk. If we vibe, let's go ahead and do it. If we don't vibe, we don't have to. That's okay. That hasn't happened yet, but if it does, whatever.
It just depends. You have fun with some. You stay a little more technical with others. So either way,
Yeah.
it'll be
However
good.
they want to handle it, we can handle it. As long as we're getting the information that you guys want to hear, want to see, and how we're going to know that is the comments. If you're an asshole, then we probably won't listen to your comment. But if you have constructive criticism or you see something you don't like, just say it. It's okay. I'm a big boy, you know?
He can handle it.
And I'm okay with that because I saw that a lot on the Go Hard podcast, and I use that to adjust how we do this. So I will adjust how to do this. We will do multiple angles of cameras later and all that, but we just want to get the information out there.
Right.
We want to kind of get this ball rolling and kind of build it to what you guys want to see.
Right. We did one camera this time because we actually love each other, so we don't mind sitting this close.
So can I sit this close to Tony?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
He had that really cool Lamborghini at his
That's
tent
true.
the other day.
He's got some really nice Lamborghinis.
So I'm okay with it.
But anyways, so like I said, we'll advance this as we go. We're just kind of just feeling it out, getting it going. Let us know what you want. If you don't like something, just tell us. You like something, tell us. You want to have somebody interviewed, let us know. I'll shoot them a message. Typically, if it's somebody in the automotive industry, I know somebody that can get a hold of them, and we will go do it. If there's any of the podcasts that we previously did that there was some questions that you just really wanted answers and you didn't get it, shoot me a message. Let me know.
We definitely don't mind interviewing people more than once because
Right.
things are always changing. New information is always coming out, especially with shops for sure.
And I think they get braver the second time. So
They
the
definitely
second one's
do.
always going to be more spicy.
Yeah, the first one's always scary.
And honestly, you know, we don't want this to become, you know, just like a shit talk podcast, because I don't think that really does a lot of further information. But I mean, if they want to sling a little mud, we're not gonna stop them either. But we want it to be informational. We want it to help people. We want to network people. We want to show people what's out there.
Right.
I don't know. I think that's pretty much the
That's
goal,
really
the
it.
mission, the aspiration,
We
and
will
everything.
take in your opinions, as he said.
What's the email? What's the email address?
Our email address is tunedinwithjwt@gmail.com.
So-
And we have every social media platform, Instagram, TikTok. I have to work on Facebook. I think I forgot that one. But we have YouTube, Spotify. I have done everything but Facebook. If you know of anything else, let me know. I'll add us to that as well.
Yeah.
We're trying to
Help
be
us,
everywhere we
help
can.
you, help everyone.
Right.
That's really it. And if you want to,
Recommend your friends.
right.
Any
Just,
business, small businesses. We love small businesses. We love anybody trying to, do something cool on their own, building their own stuff. I mean,
yeah.
we're all about innovation.
And we're into anything that goes fast. I know that's controversial.
Yeah.
I know some people don't like that.
Team Tesla.
But we do have 2 Teslas. Obviously, not for that reason,
They're my Teslas.
But it's something that I'm into everything that goes fast. I don't mind. We bought a Model 3, and basic as it was, I liked it a lot. It's a killer daily. She has a Model X Plaid, which we were also just doing 167.5 mile in the rain.
In the rain.
Which was super cool. We got to have a lot of fun. We got to meet Brooks from Drag Times.
Yep.
So actually, there should be a camera on your car coming out on one of his videos.
Yeah,
if you
don't mind the
run
first
the truck.
one. We were figuring some stuff out.
Yeah.
After that, though, it's everybody I'm coming after.
But it's all about, like I said, working together. And again, as I've said this before, and again, controversial as it may be, we didn't get Teslas to replace our race cars. We got Teslas to replace the mundane cars we could have been, which we never would have, but we could have been driving with something that makes 1,000 horsepower and we don't have to work on and has a warranty, and we still have race cars.
And it's got really cool doors. They're
So
fashion doors.
again, in the nature of working together, your cars can work together too.
Oh, you didn't see that at the track. I was parked next to a McLaren at the track, and his doors were up, and the kids were there. I was like, look, it's cool. His doors go up, my doors go up.
Yeah.
Mine's way cheaper, but
But it's
still
just
cool.
It's all about having everything. We like to have everything. The EV stuff is coming out. Will we ever do coverage at an EV drag race? I can assure you that will more than likely 90% not happen.
I might. I like it. I don't think there'll ever be just an EV drag race. I mean,
I don't know. Not for me.
He said that he was having fun watching me out there the other day. Don't let him lie.
But would we do EV drift cars? 100%.
We're really into everything.
If
Honestly,
it goes
we're
fast
into everything.
and it does performance things, we're in. Unless it's in the air, we'll leave that to CJ.
Till I get my pilot's license.
Yeah.
You can't say I almost put us in a wall there. It would just be the
But
ground.
so even if you have somebody doing some crazy EV stuff, let us know. We'd love to get with people like Rich Rebuilds and some of these other YouTubers that, he's a lot like us. He has ICE cars, internal combustion engine. He has a lot of those vehicles and he really likes them, but he started with Teslas and electric vehicles, and he built a really successful shop out of it and a successful YouTube page. Mm-hmm. He kind of battles both fronts, but I feel like us having the Teslas has made it more acceptable for people to admit that they owned them too, which I thought was kind of funny. But again,
now we see way more of our customers that have Teslas.
Right.
Come out and say that they have Teslas,
But so in that aspect, we like everything. We like to talk to everybody. If you think it's cool, we're probably gonna think it's cool.
any kind of race car, imports, domestics, monster trucks, like we love everything.
Yep.
Power boats.
No,
I mean, we're not riding
I'm not
them.
gonna
We'll
ride on
come
it.
watch, but that's
Yeah, I'll come watch.
Water makes me nervous.
I did meet the guys at the half mile. They had an SF90, but they also owned seven Power Sports, SCVE Power Sports in Aguadilla. So we'll probably go check out their boats and do a thing on them and see kind of the crazy stuff they've got going on there.
Literally everything. If it's fast, we like it.
Yeah. If it's slow, probably not.
Unless it's just got something cool, then maybe.
Yeah. But all right, just to wrap that up, like I said, anything else you want to say?
No, not really.
I think that's pretty much it. Shoot us an email at tunedinwithjwt at gmail.com. Shoot us an email, tell us what you think, or throw it down in the comments.
Throw us some contact info for people that you think we should see.
Right. If you're probably don't put their contact info in the comments.
In the emails.
Probably send that in the email.
We were on the emails.
That'd be probably the best communication because we do get several texts and calls a day on my tuning side. And again, I don't want this to affect the tuning business. I would like to keep them separate because customer service is extremely important to us.
Yes, very important to us.
But follow us on everything. If you don't see us on something, let us know. We'll figure it out. We'll get it there. Or we'll contact somebody and help try to make it happen.
Yeah, we'll reach out to anyone. We don't mind.
Yep. And worst they could say is no, and that's cool with us too.
Yeah.
So, all right. I think that's pretty much it. Thank you for listening to us ramble. I hope we didn't go on too long.
Right.
And I hope you learned something. So,
In the words of Fast Fallon, stay tuned for our next video.
perfect.